Harry's wife. The most unpopular royals. Popularity matters to certain narcissists. Notoriety matters to certain other narcissists. I've explained that when it comes to your interactions with the narcissist, it's broken down into just 3 types. There is the provision of pure fuel, either pure positive or pure negative. There's wounding, where you ignore us, don't respond to us, don't answer the telephone, forget our birthday. That's the worst thing that you can do to us, because you are threatening our sense of control and you're not providing us with fuel. And then there is, in a way, a midway point, that of challenge fuel, which is where you're giving a reaction to the narcissist, so that's all good, you're providing us with fuel. But your response is one which is threatening our need for control. Some narcissists deal with challenge fuel far more readily than others. And an easy way of sort of understanding that is to think about the pantomime villain. So let's take Simon Cowell, for instance. He plays up to the nasty approach of shooting people down, those poor hapless lunatics that think they're going to find themselves embracing international stardom on the various shows that he has created, making him very wealthy indeed. When he's booed and hiss, that of course is criticism of him, but he doesn't care. He's drinking in the fuel, and also at the same time he's laughing, because basically he asserts control by staying in a position of withdrawal, by jettisoning the criticism, by basically saying this in his own head: I am ridiculously wealthy off the back of these poor saps. You knobheads that are booing and hissing me, pay my bills. It's hilarious. And the fact that you're reacting to me, I love every second of it. So whilst it is a challenge to him, he embraces that challenge and jettisons it very quickly. I've spoken before about sort of overly provocative narcissists and given an example of a Premiership footballer who is a narcissist. He bangs a goal in and then runs in front of the away fans, or perhaps the home fans, even better, goading them, gesturing at them, perhaps putting his finger to his lips telling them to shut up as he's just scored against their side. He's met with dog's abuse. He's given the finger, he's given the V's, he's given the wanker sign, his parentage is questioned, etc. And he drinks it all in laughing. Why? Well, again, this is all challenge fuel, because he's been heckled and criticised and put down, but he loves it, because it's all fuel from thousands of tertiary sources proximate to him. So it's a great big dollop of fuel that's being provided. But in his head again, he just thinks, I'm good looking, in great shape, I'm a multimillionaire, and I've just condemned your team to being relegated. Go fuck yourselves. And in those circumstances, the more that they get angrier, the more that he loves it, because it's more fuel. And the challenge that's associated with it, he just puts to one side by thinking, it's great being me, and I'm not some spotty, overweight, gummy reject from the human race that's jumping up and down, getting aerated in the crowd. So there are certain narcissists that absolutely revel in their infamy, revel in their notoriety, and love nothing more than a hostile crowd, because their sense of superiority and arrogance causes them to rise above it. There are other narcissists, however, that whilst it's all good in its fuel, they cannot understand why they're disliked. They cannot understand why they're being booed. But I thought they liked me. They should like me. Why are they against me? I've not done anything to them. And they cannot comprehend how they are viewed in such a way. Harry's wife falls into that category. She isn't one that revels in her notoriety, but rather she believes that she's a kind, decent, empathic person that everybody should love. And that if you don't, there must be something wrong with you, because she's just so lovable. And therefore, to her, popularity is hugely important. And at each instance, when she learns that she isn't important, that causes her a significant problem. So when it comes to the issue of popularity, there are certain narcissists that revel in being unpopular because ultimately they're still getting the fuel, and the way that their narcissism operates, they're able to dispense with the challenge very easily by basically saying, I'm worth millions, I'm really good looking, I have a different woman every night, I drive a fast car, I live in a huge house, whereas you, standing there, shouting and screaming at me, get back to your rabbit hutch and your Happy Meal. And they're dismissively removed in that way, which is an assertion of control. With other narcissists, a lack of popularity really is a problem and results in multiple pity plays, sympathy symphonies, whining to other people about, but why don't they like me? What have I done to them? What is the problem? Harry's wife falls into this latter category. And it's not getting any better for her, because a recent YouGov article tells us, after Prince Andrew, Harry's wife and Harry remain Britain's most unpopular royals. Oh dear, imagine being bracketed with old Randy Andy. The article by Joanna Morris, who apparently is a data journalist, writes, the popularity of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex slumped ahead of the launch of their documentary series. Prince Harry's popularity has tumbled this winter as his wife, Harry's wife, continues to fall out of favour among Britons. The popularity of prominent members of the royal family has generally declined since November. But the proportion of people who say they have a positive opinion of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex has dropped significantly. This week saw the royal pair grab headlines across the globe as a Netflix documentary purporting to give the officially sanctioned inside scoop on their lives began to air. In the weeks ahead of its launch, however, public opinion of Prince Harry slumped. Just a third of Britons now have a positive opinion of him, while 59% have a negative one. This, of course, impacts upon Harry's wife because Harry is an extension of her. According to the latest YouGov Royal Favourability Tracker, something I guess all of you need to have in your lives, that leaves him with a net score of negative 26, the result of subtracting the proportion of Britons who have a negative opinion of him from the share who have a positive one. That represents a drop of 13 points since November and his joint lowest score. Even he has been Markled. That's the same position where Prince Harry was in May, when the tracker recorded his lowest ever score before opinions softened and his popularity was boosted around the time of the late Queen's death in September, when he had a net score of +1. Harry's wife is now looked upon positively by just a quarter of Britons, with Prince Andrew, 7%, the only royal family member with less popularity among the public. Nearly two-thirds of people, 64%, now have a negative opinion of the Duchess, giving her a net score of -39. Ooh, a 7-point drop since November. More than 8 in 10 65 and overs say they have a negative opinion of the Duchess of Sussex, including 70% who have a very negative opinion. So the Duchess of Sussex doesn't want to be going to any care homes in the near future. The only age group more likely to hold a slightly more positive opinion than a negative opinion of Harry's wife is the 18 to 24-year-olds. 40% think positively of her, while 38% think negatively. So she's only +2% amongst the demographic that would ordinarily support her. Prince Harry's favourability also remains highest amongst the younger generations, while he's fallen out of favour with many older people. YouGov's tracker shows half of the 18 to 24-year-olds and 73% of 25 to 49-year-olds think positively of the prince. 29% and 18% think negatively. But older people are far more likely to prefer his brother and his wife than they are Harry and Harry's wife. The popularity of Prince William and Princess Catherine has also declined this winter. The Prince of Wales now has a net score of +69, a 7-point drop since November, while the Princess of Wales has a net score of 64, also suffering a 7-point drop. Nevertheless, +64 compared to -39 for Harry's wife. What a gulf between her and the nemesis. That scores makes the Prince and Princess of Wales currently the most popular royals, and especially among the 65 and overs, who have an overwhelmingly positive view of them. 89% have a positive opinion of Catherine, while the same proportion think positively of her husband. The Prince and Princess of Wales are most unpopular among the 18 to 24-year-olds, with 31% thinking negatively of Prince William and the same proportion holding a negative opinion of his wife. However, among all age groups, they are thought of more positively than negatively. Again, another blow for Harry's wife. Aside from William and Catherine, the most popular royal is currently Princess Anne. 72% hold a positive opinion. Prince Andrew is the most unpopular, with just 7% of Britons holding a positive opinion and 86% a negative one. Though with a score of -79, his is the only rating that has stayed steady among the public. So bad news there for Harry's wife. She remains particularly unpopular, whilst her nemesis is popular. And reading such a survey means it will threaten her by way of challenge fuel, and her narcissism will seek to negate it by dismissing it and saying that all of these people that are polled are quite simply racist haters. Once again, she will never, ever examine her own behaviour. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.